Always use your service manual. This is a page from the service manual of this particular unit. And this is a troubleshooting guide that you're going to be able to use to help diagnose this piece of equipment properly. You can get this service manual off of SamsungHVACDownload.com. Go in the link in the description. I've got that information for you so you guys can get this in your hands, and it'll be able to help you in the field to get these problems fixed quicker and to be more confident. So how do we read this? How do we go through this? So when I get to the call, the indoor unit is going to display an E6, and that error code has a description of indoor fan motor fault. So we know that the indoor fan motor is the issue, or it's to do with the indoor fan motor. So what's the checklist? Well, first, is the indoor unit fan motor connected properly? I checked, it is connected properly. Is the AC power supply voltage correct? Yes, it is. My unit has 240 volts AC, and that's what it's rated for. So our troubleshooting procedure is very simple. Is capacity of fan motor capacitor okay? Yes, it is. So I move on down. Is there outlet of fan connector speed accordingly? Of course, everything's hooked up the way it should be hooked up. Nothing has changed. Check the winding of motor accordingly. Measure ohms, measure to ground. If you don't have any off readings, then is the motor shaft smooth? You're gonna have to take the motor out. You're gonna have to spin the fan motor shaft and make sure there's no rough spots. Of course, this one, it comes on. So if your fan comes on, like I'm gonna show you in this video, then there's nothing wrong with the fan motor. There's a problem with the main PCB if it only works in one mode and then the other mode doesn't. Take into consideration that it does take around 5-10 minutes for the indoor coil to build up heat during the heating mode for the indoor fan motor to run. So if you put the mode in heating, the fan motor indoors is not automatically going to turn on. It has to build up coil temperature to a certain standard level before it turns the fan on. And you're going to notice in this video that I'm explaining all that to you so you have the information you need. Guys, let's look at some more video footage, and then I'm going to show you what was wrong with this unit.
So 3 screws underneath those caps on the bottom. Got to take these off. Get these out of the way, and then behind it is a Phillips screw. You'll be able to take this top off to get to the control board. That's our first main mission here. Let's do it. After you take these 3 screws out, you're going to have 2 right here. Take these 2 Phillips head screws out, and then this is going to lift off. All right? See, I'll show you. See, it's all loose, ready to go. Take it right off. Make sure that you unplug this. All right, goes to the display. This is a little plug that goes back to the PCB. You need to unplug that, guys, okay? And then you take this off. Let's take it off. All right, so once the front cover is off, then you'll be able to get to the control board over here so that you can make your checks to make sure the motor has power when it's calling for the indoor motor to spin. Before I take the fan cover completely down, I'm actually going to use the display, the receiver, and my transmitter here, and I'm going to put the fan on high speed. Since I put the fan on high speed, before the coil was freezing, now it's not. Looks like the indoor fan motor, there's actually probably nothing wrong with that, but there could be a problem with the board. So let's do some further diagnostics to figure out what the problem is.
Left the job site, and I think I've determined that there is a bad indoor PCB. It's not the fan motor because the fan motor works. Verified that by taking the remote controller and turning the fan on the mode selection. So mode selection set the fan on, then I turn the fan speed up all the way to the highest point, and now the fan motor is blowing. So since the fan motor's been verified that it's good, I guarantee you it's the PCB, because that's the only other thing that causes the fan motor not to run. There's a few other things, but of course it's E6, and we have a couple different parts that we can eliminate. So we do a process of elimination. I'm not going to order a fan motor when the fan motor's working. I'm going to order the PCB. So, but if you make your checks in the field, you cannot go wrong. You use that meter, you check voltage output to the motor, you check voltage input to the board.
So old board and a new board right next to each other, and as you can see, I've pulled the old board out, and this is what you find. This is what you find. That's what you find. This corrosion, these burnt brown looking spots on this actual board. So this board is definitely the problem. If you have an E6 in the field and your fan motor will run, It most likely could be your board. All these plugs are gonna go on the new board. We're gonna put the new board in and turn the unit back on and see if the code clears. So I take the display out and hook the display up. So that I've got it in heating mode, fan speed turned all the way up. Fan spinning. Hot gas line is very warm, so it's building up heat. Should release the indoor fan soon. So the fan is turned on, temperatures reach 99 degrees on the coil. So that fixed the problem. Error code E6, bad main PCB, indoor unit.